Welcome everyone to our weekly webinar. My name is Paige Sutherland and I'm the Product Marketing Manager for Reputation Management and Customer Voice here at Vendasta. And I'm joined today with Product Manager Aaron Bowman. We're really excited to get to present this webinar to you today. Today's discussion will first address why reviews are so critically important so that we can then talk about how all the data we collect in those reviews can be turned into insights. Then we'll go through some use cases of our sentiment analysis tool that you can take back to your clients. And then I'll speak to some tactical takeaways. And finally, we'll close out with a live demo of our new feature, Insights. So let's get going. First, let's address the basis why we're here, serving clients in the reputation management space. Reviews have a profound impact on businesses. You may have already seen these stats, but they're worth reiterating as it'll build a foundation for speaking about sentiment analysis. Firstly, we know that customer experience is the basis for a successful business. In fact, 25% of customers will drop a business after just one bad experience. Secondly, we know that over 95% of shoppers read reviews before making a purchase. And this indicates how important reviews are for driving traffic to businesses and how much customers trust online reviews. And lastly, we've seen that 67% of reviewers will change their negative review to a positive review after the business has responded and shown that they care. Responding to reviews is no longer an option. But beyond a review management strategy of collecting, responding to, and sharing reviews, we should also recognize the need to absorb customer feedback. Customers appreciate being heard and having their reviews amount to change at the business. Online reviews are an essential source of customer feedback. They help businesses measure customer satisfaction and understand how people perceive the brand. Reviews also hold a lot of value for the business to understand where they might be lacking or what contributes to a memorable experience for the wrong reasons. But oftentimes, business owners focus too much on the star rating of the review, which in many cases just paints a customer's experience with too broad of a brush. What do we mean by that? Consider that a review rated 1 to 2 stars is always negative, and a 3-star review is neutral, and a 4 to 5-star review is always considered positive. But what we're seeing is that the content of the review matters so much more, and it reveals incredible insight into the customer's actual experience. Just think about how Facebook has moved to the recommends versus does not recommend rating system, which is just further polarizing the positive versus negative buckets that reviews can fall into. So if we cannot take stars at face value anymore and the content holds such valuable business insight, how can the average business owner develop a deeper understanding of their customer feedback? It can be tricky. First off, the average small to medium business owner might be lacking the resources needed to devote time to analyzing their review content. And combing through the last years of reviews, for example, can be a serious hardship for someone operating with a team of 5 people, let's say. It's also difficult to understand at a high level what is the most important feedback in those reviews. And for a small business that might receive just 1 review a week, it can be tricky to understand the trends in the reviews. And there's really not an easy way to track and prioritize customer feedback manually. And at the multi-location level, you'd be taking all those issues that small business owners deal with and amplifying them 100 times. Having 200, 300 locations to evaluate and understand what customer feedback is important out of potentially hundreds of reviews every week is nearly impossible to do at scale.
So here at Vendasta, we recognize the challenges that business owners, brand managers, or the agencies that do this work for them face. So when it comes to analyzing review content to extract detailed insights at scale, we're proud to say we have a solution. So earlier today, we released our sentiment analysis functionality to Reputation Management and Multi-Location Business Center. With insights, your clients can identify trending keywords in their review content in order to prioritize issues and make actual changes at the business to help improve their overall reputation. Turning reviews into insights is a process of taking the unstructured content of reviews and making sense of that content. This is an example of a review with a lot of content that needs to be unpacked. Once it's unpacked, the business will be provided with actionable insights that can lead to operational changes at the business. Our insights tool peels back the layers of this content by analyzing the review content through our natural language processing algorithms to pull out keywords, describing words, and the sentiment of those words. In this review, for an example, the reviewer mentioned that the staff was friendly, the cafe was clean and cozy, and the eggs Benedict were delicious. The patio being busy in August is an insight that could very well have been missed, but this is very important feedback to take back to a business to help them improve their operational efficiency. And just like Paige mentioned previously, there's much more to sentiment analysis than just a star rating indicating if it's positive, neutral, or negative. Our tool will break down the content into snippets and reveal insights in 3 layers. Topic keywords such as food, descriptive words such as small, and sentiment, whether the opinion of the reviewer is positive or negative. And this is done from a scale of +1 to -1. Businesses can take these insights and use them to make real changes at the business. We'll be covering some possible use cases that your clients can begin implementing today. Firstly, our algorithm picks out top trending keywords in review content. Once the business owner understands the keywords that drive the online conversation, they can improve their review management strategy and prioritize customer service issues. For example, this review might be 4 stars, but we see they make a negative statement about the drive-through being too slow. As a business owner, I can prioritize issues about my drive-through and make sure that the manager in charge of that drive-through hears this feedback and actually does something about it. Once changes are made at the business, we can then track and see how it trends over time. The goal of using this tool is to make improvements at the business so that the negative sentiment will decrease over time. So eventually the keyword drive-through will change and increase in positive sentiment. Another huge advantage is tracking sentiment at specific points in time. Our time graph will identify major dips or spikes in sentiment for a particular keyword. For example, if you introduce a new menu item to your restaurant, you can see how customers feel about the item by tracking sentiment from that point in time. You'll be able to understand if, yes, the new dish is a hit, or if it needs to be pulled from the menu. Insights like this might seem small, but they can reveal huge operational inefficiencies that need to be addressed. Additionally, sentiment analysis can also reveal how seasonality affects the business, which can highlight possible changes that should be made at the business. Take, for an example, service. It drops dramatically in sentiment in the summer months. Some descriptive words used in that time period are slow and weak. The business can affect change by hiring more summer staff. Lastly, by listening to customer feedback, businesses might identify some gaps in the market that they could fill. For an example, catering to a vegetarian crowd by adding some menu items. We made sure to include functionality for our partners that serve multi-location businesses as well. Viewing the brand as a whole can give the brand manager at a high level view of the public's perception of the brand. In Multi-Location Business Center, you can also filter by location to highlight issues that might be localized to a specific franchise. Take, for an example, a large healthcare system that operates hospitals across the country. If the hospital in Miami is highly rated for administrative staff, whereas the location in Phoenix is very negative, you might consider evaluating what's different at that Miami location. Then resources can be allocated or training can be provided to the location that needs the help. Coming in the new year, we'll be releasing a view similar to the one that you see on screen, where we can show the top and bottom performers for a brand. This is going to help brand managers understand outliers and take appropriate action. And another use case is more effective marketing. By using the top positive trending keywords in more online marketing and in their messaging, businesses are amplifying their already positive position in the market. Likewise, we reveal what words are trending more negatively so the business can stay away from using those words. Our team has recently trained with Bruce Clay, who is regarded as the godfather of SEO. When we presented this feature to him, he agreed that using these positive words in places that are indexed by Google, like a business's website, will really help a business to be found online.
So, knowing all the use cases for your clients, where can you start? First off, understanding the sentiment of reviews shows us how important it is for businesses to care about customer feedback and ultimately to respond to reviews. Also, be sure to stay on top of the common keywords in reviews so you and your clients can understand what is driving the online conversation. Thirdly, understand at a high level the overall perception of the single location or the entire brand. And lastly, but most importantly, use those insights to affect change at the business and improve. Customer reviews are incredibly valuable, and every business should be taking their customers' feedback to heart and using it to improve overall. And now, with your help, your clients can do just that. We hope that you take these newfound insights and run with them and use customer feedback to drive business success.
Like we've been talking about today, we are super excited to have released insights today. So I'll just go over reputation management quickly here, and then we'll definitely touch on multi-location, as it looks like a majority of our viewers today are using both of these. So on the overview page of reputation management, we have added a new insights box here. So this is showing the top 5 keywords that are trending for the last year for this particular business. The large number here is in reference to how many times this particular word has been mentioned. And you can click into one of these. It's going to take you direct into the Insights tab with this particular word filtered already. Before I go into that though, I wanted to highlight the changes on the reviews page as well. So we've added a very similar card here to the top of the Manage Reviews page. We're showing the 10 top words here, and we've also allowed for the old style word cloud to also be visible here. And then digging into the Insights tab here, we also have added this little guide here that will take any of your clients that log into reputation management through the new tool as well. In this case, I'm doing that for you, so I'm going to close that off here. But this is Insights. So on the left here, we can see and explore all of our trending keywords here. We can sort these by most positive and most negative if we'd like as well. Clicking on any one of these words is going to filter the data on the right-hand side here. So we have service already selected. We can see the number of mentions and the time that it's been changing over the last period. We also have a delta, which determines whether or not the number of mentions is increasing or decreasing. Now the color is in reference to the overall sentiment of that word, whether or not that change has actually been positive or negative. Down below here, you can see the adjectives that are being used to describe service. So here you can see that it's great, friendly, good, and we can actually even expand these in more detail as well. By default, when you select one of these words, we are showing reviews that reference that. So in this case, it's vehicle. These are all reviews that mention vehicle. If I would like, I can click on one of these adjectives here, and we're going to further filter these reviews to only those that say vehicle and beautiful in them. Also here, we can see that there are different scales of color here. This is really representing how positive or how negative this word is being said. So in the case of beautiful, we can even hover over this. Remember that sentiment is graded on a scale of -1 to +1. So the sentiment for beautiful is 0.9, so very close to 1 here. And so it's a very positive word, so that's why we have the very green color here. Whereas new, for an example, less positive, quite a bit closer to neutral at 0.16. So that's why the color here is less bright. And then we also have a percentage on the right-hand side here. The percentage is referencing how frequently your reviews that mention vehicle also contain the word new. So out of vehicles, you've got 57 reviews that mention vehicles, and then we've got 6% of them that also mention new. Just trying to make sure that I've covered all my bases here. We can also filter this data too. So if you're wanting to see your reviews on Google and how those look, these filters all apply as well. I'm just going to switch over to a multi-location view now. So just opening up my example partner here and open a brand or multi-location report rather. And from here I can dig into reputation and then insights. So this particular multi-location account has 30 different locations that are pulling and populating all the data into here. Again, we can change the date range here. We've got it filtered by default to the last 12 months. You can, of course, change this date range if you're wanting to maybe adjust the frequency of the information that you're seeing. Maybe you just want to look at the last 30 days. Maybe you have a promotion running and you're really wanting to see what data, what your customers are saying about your business online within that time period that your promotion has been running. So again, all this stuff is very much the same at the multi-location level. Again, you can still filter, and really this gives you the power to really see at a brand level, what are people saying about your business? You can also filter by location, one at a time or even groups. So if I want to look at my Melville Street location, I can filter to all 4 of those locations and just see how the data changes. In this particular case, I can see that some employee names are actually starting to show up here. And I can see that they are overall very positive mentions of these employees. I can dig in to see what are people talking about Landon Croder about. He's friendly, he's interested, he's really knowledgeable. That's great. And you can see how he's been trending over time too. He is getting more positive over time. Landon's a guy I probably want to keep around, and I want to ensure that Landon knows he's valuable at my business. Maybe I should mention you can filter by source here as well. Business category. In this particular example, this is an automotive group, but they also own car washes as well. So maybe I want to change the data that I'm looking at and specify dealerships to service, automotive service or car washes. You can slice and dice this data any way you want to deliver it to your clients.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. And thank you so much, Erin, for joining me today for the webinar. It was a great live demo. Thank you for joining us. Happy holidays.